take a few moments and come out of hypnosis. And Joe is a hypnotherapist also. I don't know if you all knew that with all the other things he does. So at this point, you may have more questions. So got Joe up here too. So as thoughts come to your mind, there may be some things that come up for you, and feel free to go ahead and ask any questions that you may have.
So it was lovely going onto the beach and relaxing. And then when you started the script, a little conscious mind came, and I'm like, where am I supposed to be? And was I on the beach? Was I not on the beach? I got back on the beach, but I had a little moment of consciousness. Where should I be?
Well, that's you. That's this person
Yeah, I
talking.
could
That's
tell.
her talking. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of people, and I'd like to hear Joe's answer too, but a lot of people during hypnosis, myself included, think completely unrelated thoughts. When someone's talking about the beach, I'm off in the woods somewhere. It doesn't matter, because this is designed to relax you, to get you into hypnosis. Your subconscious mind is hearing these things and relaxing more and more. So yeah, that's the critical factor that over time you'd be able to work on it more. And Joe, I'd love to hear your feedback.
Well, I totally agree. What we're speaking to, all of hypnosis is about this subconscious, sometimes called the unconscious mind, the programming, the data. That's what we're speaking to. The conscious mind is the monkey mind, and sometimes it just pops up. But it doesn't really matter, because these statements that I was giving in particular were all going here. They're all going here. One of the most famous hypnotists of all time that I've idolized was Milton Erickson.
Yeah.
And Milton Erickson would tell these, and I was tempted to actually do this here. I was going to do a Milton Erickson story. The best way to understand a Milton Erickson story is a drunk, senile grandfather who tells you a story that rambles all over the place, doesn't come to any conclusions, and bores you so much your conscious mind just wanders off. And that's how he actually speaks to your, or he did, he's gone to speak to your subconscious mind. I always admired it and I always loved it. It's like, I can sit up here and ramble, and people will just get bored and their minds will go off. Well, as long as we're still doing the statements that reach here, which is what I was doing, you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great question.
Thank you. Other questions? Yes?
Thank you. Well, the same thing happened to me. I went from the beach driving down the hill very fast, and then I said, okay, back to the beach. When Joe started to talk about the script, I kind of dozed off. And when I heard him again, it was saying moment by moment. So whatever happened before that, I have no clue at all.
Perfect.
So
That is the way we
I
want
think,
you.
yeah, I think that's great.
We have a winner. Yes, that's you. That's good, yeah, because this guy's out of the picture. He's not able to analyze if you're asleep. We're just dealing with this guy, and that's where we want to be. So that's fine. That's why I say listen to hypnosis at night, because if you fall asleep, your eyes close, but your ears don't. A mother will hear a child if crying. She'll quote unquote, wake up and attend to the child. If you hear a noise in your home that doesn't belong there, it's not part of the baseline noises. It's not the refrigerator, it's not the air conditioning, it's something breaking or something that doesn't belong there, you'll wake up. Well, the truth is you never really go to sleep. Your subconscious mind is always listening, and it's able to do that through your ears. That's one of the things that's kept us alive, because we're able to hear things when we sleep. So because you're able to hear things, you're also able to take things in and record things. So that's fine. A student right there. Yep.
Well, my question is, example, when Joe was saying you're lovable or you're a miracle, or was my conscious mind was questioning, not really, and then something inside me was also challenging that thought. Why not me? So was that subconscious mind kind of fighting with conscious mind, or
a conscious mind fighting with us.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe, you want to?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. See, I had written down some statements when he asked me to do the script. I had written them down, but I didn't read any of them. I actually was sitting here and I was just doing my own attunement to the crowd, which again, I know everybody here now. And I knew, I was inspired to say, you are lovable, knowing that some of you are going to object to that. But, and probably more than one, it wasn't just you. I'm sure there was others that kind of had a little jar effect there. Because when you hear you are lovable, part of you, the part that doesn't think you're lovable, is the one that's going to spout off. This is why you don't just do this once. You mentioned 21 days every
Yeah.
night for 21 days or every morning, whatever it happens to be, so that you can do the cleaning and the clearing and the data erasing so that you can come to the truth, you are lovable. But when I first say it, if there's any part of you that doesn't agree, it's going to be a little bit of sandpaper, a little abrasive there just for a moment. But it's a great observation.
Thank
It
you.
just means you're cleaning.
She mentioned that I see a little conflict between using hypnosis and getting into hooponopono. Because the ultimate goal of hooponopono, the way I understand it, is to be free of any and all programming. Zero means zero, right? Good or bad. Even Dr. Len emphasized that what comes after where he's at, well, you have to even let go of the practice of hooponopono.
That's exactly
You have
right.
to go beyond
That's
all of
exactly
this,
right.
There's
Yes.
a void, the void is void. So how do you reconcile the use of hypnosis with the practice of
Because this is advanced Ho'oponopono. You realize that even Ho'oponopono is a technique which has its own limitations, and we want to use any and all techniques available to us. Part of what I'm doing tomorrow morning is going through some techniques that I've used. And you can easily make the argument that, oh, that's not Ho'oponopono, or that's not how I understood Ho'oponopono to be, that it actually seems to be in conflict. But when we look at the universal principles and everything in the world, there's a statement that says when you pick up one end of a stick and you say a truism, the other end of the stick has the complete opposite of that truism. But in the relative space of using both of them together, they're both accurate. They're both accurate. It's all in perception. I see that hypnosis, which I use, which I teach, which I've written about, I've read hypnotic writing, hypnotic marketing, have hypnosis tapes and audios and hypnosis that I was doing a long time ago to clear myself and clean myself. It is a cleaning tool, which is what Ho'oponopono is. This is a cleaning tool. I loved where you said, when you were answering her question, about this is where you would do the script in relation to programs you want to delete. Now, what I was doing was more giving you positive programs. I was saying you are lovable, which some people objected to. And I was saying that you are the miracle and you are part of the divine. Those are all statements that are in alignment with the essence of Ho'oponopono and the essence of my presentation this morning. Trying to direct you to, you are spiritual beings in physical bodies having this experiences of materialism and spirituality and the physical being and all these different things. And hypnosis is a terrific way of going in there to delete programs, which is exactly what Ho'oponopono is. You look like you don't have it yet.
Is there a part two to the
I
question?
see the point, but I mean, ultimately, even the program of being a program is a program. So you still live with something, right? Whereas the void is void. There's nothing.
And that's
It's
exactly
zero.
right. Yeah, we want to go to the void. We want to come from the whiteboard. That's a whiteboard right there. We already wrote stuff on it. We want to come from the whiteboard, which is what I was talking about this morning. But in order for us to get there, we're using everything available, including Ho'oponopono.
Well, but Ho'oponopono is not a program.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Yes, it is.
No, if you practice it at the end, you're left with nothing, the void. There's no program left. That
You know
sounds
what?
to me more of a programming.
I love what you're saying here, but you know, if Dr. Hulan was here, he would just say, you know, that's all bullshit. you know it's all from your mind.
Yes, yes.
It is. You know what I said this morning? And I know you were listening, and I know this is sincere processing for you. And that was the idea that your mind is going to try to fill in the blanks and to make everything all of the speakers say fit your model of reality. And when it doesn't fit it, you're going to wrestle with it, and you're going to have your hand raised because you're trying to find, how does this work with what you already believe? That's what's going on. But what we want to do is unravel all those beliefs so you come from the whiteboard. I had also said that we can write hypnosis up here, we can write EFT, we can write Ho'oponopono, and what are we doing? We're overlaying our beliefs and expectations on the whiteboard. In my book, Zero Limits, wherever that went, Dr. Hulen said, the whiteboard, zero, is not influenced by your expectations and your intentions. It's not influenced by it. We're just influencing our own programming.
Right.
So we want to keep coming from here.
Okay.
I don't know what else to
Go back
tell you.
cleaning.
Yeah, keep cleaning.
Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
exactly right. Yeah. Can we have an easy one?
Yeah, yeah. What's our name?
Do we have a low ball?
I hear what you're saying, but can you give us an example of a script that's opposite of what you did? So if you're working with Ho'oponopono,
Well,
in the subconscious, it's not positive?
Okay, sure. One of the things I was doing, and you may not have all heard it because you were in a hypnotic state and you were really kind of fogging out, which was good. But did you hear I said that your little child is lovable? I forget the exact phrase, but your little child is lovable and your little child is loving. Why are you shaking your head no? Oh, you weren't here. Okay.
Like really? Like physically weren't here or mentally weren't here?
He was here, but he means that
Another A student.
he
Good.
fogged out. That was a Ho'oponopono inner child integration. If you know from some of the zero limits and the basic Ho'oponopono course, we talk about the inner child meditation. In fact, Matthew and I have an inner child meditation out there, and there's one in zero limits and I think at zero. That's the whole idea of integrating that self-consciousness. Well, I don't mean self-consciousness or self-awareness, but I mean the self that is the programming within you. And that is considered to be an inner child in Ho'oponopono and Hawaiian philosophy. And that inner child is alive in you, but hasn't grown up and still thinks like a little child. So what I was doing when I had the opportunity to just, from inspiration, create a script there, I threw in there, your little child is loving and lovable. And again, I don't remember the exact phrase, but we've got it on video. That was using Ho'oponopono within hypnosis for a positive reason. If you remember, I also said all the statements of hypnosis or Ho'oponopono, including the new fifth one that I came up with and was inspired to receive, I said all of those. That's another example of using this in a Ho'oponopono-ish way. But great question, so I got to explain it this way.
And also realize that hypnosis is a tool that developed outside of Ho'oponopono. You can use it, as I was teaching it today, for anything that you want, including Ho'oponopono. So you can make the script anything you want. If you don't feel that it was exactly what you wanted, you have the technology to use it in any way you want and tailor it to your specific view of things.
That's excellent. And I saw there was at least one more question. Yes.
It was more an observation because I've been listening to Dr. Jones's tapes for a while. And when I first started listening to him, it was like my conscious mind was fighting me. And I say, well, now what did it say? Because my conscious mind was like, no, I don't know about that. Now, after listening to him for a while, it's almost like, oh, she's listening to that again, so just leave her alone. And I go in really
Got it under control. So you kind of, they're still talking, but they know their place.
Yeah,
Your
they know their place
Your conscious
now.
mind knows its place. Good, good.
Okay, I was messing with hypnosis a little bit a few months ago, and I cured pulmonary emphysema from my grandmother. She was really bad. I started making Ho'oponopono towards her. I was cleaning me what makes her ill, and then I made a little session just like you did. I brought her back, and we went to a new path. The path she chose not to smoke, and then she was healthy in this path, and she make new choices and stuff like that, and she awakes just feeling fine, and it goes like that. It goes like that. The hypnosis I tried to the session I did with her. In just a few weeks, she says, now I can walk again. I'm not painting. I can go to the supermarket. I can cook. And after a month and something, she calls me, I'm completely healed. I don't feel anything anymore. I can do everything I used to do. And thank you. I was, okay, thank you. You did the work. I just helped you. And I used both Ho'oponopono and hypnosis.
That is a great story. So
I
you
had
found
no
a way to
idea I'd
combine
be
both
here.
of them. Excellent.
It was way before he announced it. I had no idea I would be here. I used both techniques.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you for sharing
Yes.
Now that you mention that, I learned last month that my husband has to have open heart surgery for something he was born with and didn't know about. And we'll be doing that in less than 10 days. What I'm wondering is, he knows nothing about Ho'oponopono. He doesn't really get into the whole hypnosis thing. Is there a way that I could introduce this to him such that he could at least heal faster if he can't get himself to his grandmother's state in 10 days?
Yeah. Well, hypnosis, speaking for hypnosis, you can. I actually created a program for it, which you can create your own for him. It'd be better if you do it
You
in your
used the
voice.
description of open heart surgery. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
and I
metaphorically, but
thought,
he's
oh
really
my
doing-
gosh.
Yeah. So there's no relation between what we did today and what your husband's going through. I want to establish that first, but you can use this tool for anything you want. I actually have a recording called Post Healing After Surgery. So it's for post-surgical healing to help you get better. So you can create you can record it for him in your voice now that you know the technology, and he can listen to that. So that should help. And that's not just wishful thinking. Hypnosis has been studied by the medical world as early as the 1950s, and they've shown, as Joe knows and a lot of people here know, that you can actually stop blood from flowing. You know, they can prick someone in the arm, and actually, if you do that without hypnosis versus doing it with hypnosis, you can control the bleeding more easily with hypnosis if you're trained in it. I know that sounds absurd and it sounds magical, but it's actually very true. Your brain is in charge of your body. We talk about the mind-body connection. That's a no-brainer. They're part of the same system. Your brain is not outside of your body. So he is able to heal his own body using hypnosis. So that's the hypnosis answer, and now the Ho'oponopono answer.
Yeah, the Ho'oponopono answer is this is all inside of you. Go back to the presentation this morning. This is all your deal. It's all inside of you. So you do the healing, everything that you know to do from the Ho'oponopono standpoint, the 4 phrases, the 5th phrase. And as you're doing all of this, you will be inspired in some way, which could be to make a hypnosis recording for him. But it could be something else. It could be to hire him to go and talk to him. I don't know. That's just me speaking on the fly. But what's essential is that, much like I was telling the story of being with my mother when she was in the hospital, I had to get to my place of peace. Because unless I get there, I have no clarity. I can't see the choices, I can't see the opportunities, and I'm just exuding fear, fright, grief. I'm not helping. So it's really important. Advanced Ho'oponopono is all about, we have to realize you're the only one. You're the only one. You do the cleaning. Out of that, you may be inspired to do something in addition. And if so, act on it. And if you noticed, in the script part of this today, I said all of you are now more open to inspiration, and when you are inspired, you're going to take action. These are all positive statements for you to do the cleaning, get you inspiration, but then take action on it when you get it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great question.
Thank you. And I'm sure your husband will be just fine. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, we're holding that thought. And Michael, are you saying we want to move to the next person?
I think so. If everybody's pretty complete with that, you guys have anything to say?
Give Dr. Steve G. Jones a hand.
Thank you all.
You are amazing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks, man.